honored and privileged to be a part of this very important meeting. But the difficulty is, of course, to take the floor after the Lady President, President Ivanov and President Havel, which have huge experience, and Klaus, and that is, of course, making life very difficult for me. But the easy thing is to say that I agree with everything said before me. I worked very hard to prepare a very cultural-looking talking point here, but after listening to Madam President, I can only say everything was said. And I really learned a lot from what you have said. I was 50 years officially in diplomacy and politics. So when you spend so much time in diplomacy and politics, you always think diplomatically and politically. A diplomat may not need to be a politician, but a politician must be a diplomat in many cases. So when a diplomat politician wakes up in the morning or during the dream, they dream about political events. When they wake up, they think about political diplomatic events. When they go to sleep, they try to remember what has happened in diplomacy and politics. So I would also continue this path by expressing some of the points which was raised from the esteemed presence. As the former president of the United Nations General Assembly, of course, it relates to our subject. I think the only platform where so-called small countries can feel comfortable is in the UN General Assembly. Every country is equal there, no matter the size, population, strength, etc. But every country has a vote there. And they can vote whatever direction they can. Of course, my predecessors was from Fiji or from Ecuador. My successor was from Maldives, and Slovakia is a small country. One of my predecessors was from Slovakia. So, in a way, all these small or big countries have a possibility to become president of the UN General Assembly. But I started separating things to call it romantic or realistic in the last few months or so. And I'll explain you why I say romantic and realistic. The Security Council reform. The romantic approach is thinking that the Security Council can be reformed. The realistic approach reminds me of what happened in my country when there was a wind trying to abolish the Constitutional Court, and the Constitutional Court said, I will look into that. They said, but we are abolishing you. The Constitutional Court said, no, I will look at it anyway. So if you want to romantically reform the Security Council, you face with the reality that you cannot do that, because the system is created so that it cannot be changed. Even in the election of the Secretary General, it is a secret ballot, but 5 envelopes have different colors. So if from one of those different colored envelopes no votes come out, the Secretary General will not be elected. So this is realistic way. But romantics say that, well, it's a secret ballot, Secretary General will be elected by this one. So this is, of course, causing also the world political arena to miss the strength of the United Nations to get involved in political disputes and to try to solve them, either prevent them. But we don't see in politics the United Nations anymore. You can see in cultural field, in humanitarian aid, in health issues, they are doing wonderful jobs, but I think in politics, UN is not reliable anymore. If I'm also come to the European Union membership, Madam President opened, it was a Pandora box, because I was the chief negotiator of an EU minister of Turkey once upon a time. So, and I spent almost 25 years of my career dealing with the European Union. So coming from a country who started negotiations 60 years ago, or became an associate member 60 years ago, became member of the Customs Union 30 years ago, and started negotiations together with Croatia 20 years ago, I think the realistic word was mentioned by a former commissioner who later became president of a Baltic country. She said, if political conditions are okay, a country can become member in a few months. But if the political atmosphere is not allowing you to do that, then they will say the color of your tomato is not red enough, or your salad is not green enough. So you will spend decades by doing that. But my realistic feeling is that for a long while there won't be any more enlargement of the European Union, because the European Union has the tendency to go vertical when Europe is facing a difficulty. And candidate countries have to wait for this vertical enlargement to finish one day. It depends on how long it will take. But if there's a need to enlarge, then they go for a horizontal enlargement. I don't think in the coming years Europe can have a feeling to go for an horizontal enlargement, because the absorption capacity, as they call it, is not there, and they have enough problems within the European Union, so it will be difficult. Something relating to culture and the European Union's vision was, there was a pipeline from Azerbaijan to Europe, which was called Nabucco. I don't know why they called it Nabucco, but it didn't have gas. So Nabucco went back to be an opera, and the pipeline never came into life. But the real life was with another pipeline which had gas TANAP. It comes and provides gas. So reality and romanticism you can see everywhere. Of course, if I may come to Western Balkans and Macedonia, I think, as President have mentioned, the paradigm has changed. The world is looking different. There are earthquakes. I don't know if it is already the earthquake or the tsunami is already coming, but I mean we have to understand what's going on. It's not a world where Western countries were polarizing the world. There are China, India type of countries, and with the new US president, we have a different way of handling things, which we weren't taught of. I mean, our experience and knowledge was dealing with problems in different methodology. But the reality here is that the president visits 3 countries and goes back home with $6 trillion. Normally, he brought $6 trillion to the region. Now he takes back $6 trillion with the new way of handling diplomacy. So under these circumstances, I think the victim can be so-called small countries. If the small countries cannot come together and form pressure points and find new ways of making themselves feel stronger or show that they are strong, Otherwise, they will not have, like President have said, a chance to be a part of the policy making or decision making process in the world. I think Macedonia is a good example. You can be a small country like Switzerland, where you would everybody would like to be a small country. It's a pleasure to be a small country like Switzerland. But look at what countries in this region have faced and survived and came back to a very remarkable position. I think Macedonia should be followed. Why I say Macedonia is, for many years in my diplomatic life, I had put so many reservations into documents saying that Turkey doesn't accept FYROM. We are only counting Macedonia. But the Macedonian delegations were not doing the same. So I was saying, look, we are fighting for you, you are not fighting for yourselves. So, I mean, whatever the name is Macedonia for us, from the heart. And thank you so much for having me in this wonderful platform. And I have the honor to be talking with you. Thank you so much.